this was probably the hardest thing for me to understand in this industry. See, I come from a background just like all of you. You know, we're important to ourselves, aren't we? Aren't we important to ourselves? Yes. We're so important to ourselves that we can't get over ourselves. And we put ourselves too much in there that we become a health scientist. Right? Who's done that? Linda Wilson? I love you. She knows those big words that Dr. Don says and would repeat them. And then when she decided to take those out and keep it simple, her business grew. Who overcomplicates their business? Who would admit that? Okay, so understand this. Just because it works doesn't mean it duplicates. Okay? Even on social media, we have to keep it simple, don't we? John Eric talked a lot about being thoughtful. I was talking to a presidential diamond the other day who is on her way to ambassador. She should hit it this month. And she said, you know what, I try to teach my team, and I loved it. It's that one team, one mission philosophy, is that we're going to be together for a lifetime. Aren't we? Chantel, are we going to be together for a lifetime? Yeah. Joel and Stephanie? Megan, are we going to be? Brandy, are we going to be together for a lifetime? Yes. We're going to be together for a lifetime. Who wants to be together for a lifetime? So, and who wants to have an adventure along the way? An adventure. Is your job, your job, an adventure? If it is, you're blessed. If it is, and I loved my job when I had it, and I loved it when it went away. Because, you know, I'm happy wherever I'm at, because that's where I'm at. But let's have an adventure. Let's turn our thoughts into an adventure today, and let's make a decision that just because it works doesn't mean it duplicates. And what do I mean by that? If you're having a wrap party and you've got a beautiful display of food, an overabundance of food, and special water that you imported in from Tahiti, and special glasses, and everything is pristine. And I'm not saying don't clean up your house. That's not what I'm saying. Can that be duplicated? No. Can a busy mom of 4 come in and see that display of food and say, I can do that at my wrap party? No. She can barely get dinner on the table. Mm-hmm. So this is what we want you to do. Start taking words out of your vocabulary. Start taking papers out of what you're offering. If you can get to the point where you can blitz with hardly any words at all, almost go completely silent, it becomes a fabulous blitz. This is what it is. This is what it does. And just read off the card. That's an incredible blitz. Who's in agreement with that? Do you know what duplication means? Duplication. Something we're not taught. We're taught to do everything ourselves, aren't we? Get it right. Do it yourself. Or I'm in competition. I'm in competition. Had a little talk with someone up in the back, and she didn't quite get it. And I hope after hearing me right here, she'll get it. And I hope whoever is in the room can hear this. If you are not getting along with your team, get a new one. If you don't feel honored and respected, then work on yourself. Because no one can dishonor or disrespect you. No one has the power to do that. Only you have the power to do that. We have instilled one team, one mission for one reason. It works. It works. We are on one team, one mission. We are creative individuals. We are not competitors. It doesn't work that way. If you want to inspire your team, if you want your team to move in the direction which it should, then you need to duplicate. That means you, and I mean you, need to be bringing in new people every single week, every single month. Yes. If you want your team on 80 BV auto ship so that they do not miss a check, because it happens every single month, because customers drop off, don't they? BV is not what we predict it to be. Then you need to be on 80 BV auto ship. It should be instilled throughout your team. Yes, you can get qualified with 150 BV, but there are people in this room that have missed upwards of a $5,000 check because at the end of the month, their BV was below the 150. You do not want to get a phone call from a teammate that tells you that. If you are on an 80 BV auto ship, please stand up so we can honor you. Congratulations. Talk with your neighbor. Find out why it's important. It duplicates. This is the way your business is going to go. First, it will be you. You're going to add a few and you're going to mess it all up. Right? That's how we learn, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, you just don't date one person, do you? Even I met Dave at 16. I dated a few before him to know what I wanted. And then we had some stuff. We dated 6.5 years to see if we could get it right. Just gets more interesting. So here it is. You bring some people in, you mess it up. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. That's how you learn, isn't it? The first 3 years, everyone we brought in quit. And I thank God every day for those people. I messed them up bad. I learned how to talk about the product through them. I learned how to talk through the comp plan, how to understand that we needed the steps to success, how to understand that we needed the Blitz card. I learned all of that through them so that over the next few years, we could take those that are coming in and make it right. So here you are. See, I was the first rap girl ever. Woo! The first rap girl ever. Out building this business one-on-one, one at a time. No Facebook, no tweeting. What'd you call it? Twitting. I thought that was a dance. You know, we didn't have any of that. It's like, walking to school took 4 miles. I mean, it took 3,000 people just to get it right. So what if it takes you that many? And then you have over 1,000 a day coming in as distributors and 8,000 a day customers coming in. Do you think you'd be all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Because didn't we agree that we're going to be together forever?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So don't be so hard on yourself. You've got to learn. You weren't born into being an entrepreneur. So look at everything that you're doing. Scrutinize yourself. What's coming out of my mouth? What's coming out of my mouth? What am I saying? It's my thoughts. And if I'm saying this is happening and this is happening, it's going to happen. It's going to keep happening, isn't it? Wow, think about that one for a while. And then you have a rap party, and all the way you go, I bet no one shows up. You know what? That might happen. But you show up. You show up, you be happy. You show up, rap whoever's there. Rap the hostess, rap the dog, rap the cat. I've had rap parties when 1 or 2 showed up. I focused on the 1 or 2 that were there, not the 8 or 9 that said they were coming. Who had guests invited here today and you still think they're on their way? They're still saying, I'm coming. They're not coming. They're not coming. So look at what you're doing. How am I talking about the comp plan? The way to talk about the comp plan is to have notes on the party pad. To sit down, even if you've been on board with us 10 years, I hope you sit down with someone one-on-one or at your wrap party and act like it's the first time you've ever done it, that you're so excited about it, and that you even mess up a couple words. Yes, that's duplication. Because who's ever sitting there says, I can do this. She's not that good. She's not that good. I can do this.
That is why I'm successful.
And when you're blitzing, just say what's on the card, because guess what? That's a potential distributor, isn't it? That's a potential distributor. So if you're saying scientific terms like lipolysis, they start to look at you questionable, and they walk away. They can't wait to get away fast enough. They're thinking that's going to happen to their body. Whatever that is, it sounds like a disease. So if you're saying this is what it is, and you step back and you give them the opportunity to actually read the card, wouldn't that be a first? And then the first one that speaks is the one that's interested, right? Now you're interested in them, right? But you want them to speak first to show that they're interested. If there's 2 or 3 of them and somebody starts to ask, even if they're questions that get on your nerves, they're still questions. That's usually the most analytical one. And once you have them in your business, they're here to stay. So honor everybody where they're at, but show them the card. And then once they're finished asking, don't answer questions that aren't asked. Remember that too. Don't answer more questions in between their questions that aren't asked. What's in it? Do you get asked that? Show them the back of the box. Can they duplicate that? Can you say, I'd love to share what's in it with you. Can I have either your Facebook or I'll text it to you? Isn't that smart? Because you've got contact information now, don't you? But if you start to try to tell them what's in it, what are they thinking? Probably nothing right then until they become more intrigued, and then they think, I don't know those words. I've never heard of those ingredients. And then you go, this is what it does. And then you step back again and let them look at that. And then they'll probably say, I don't believe it. That's verbiage you can say back, because I didn't either until I tried it. Get quiet. They didn't ask you anything else, right? Show more pictures if they ask. Well, will it work for me? I don't know. All I know is I put it on, second wrap, next morning, I dropped a size. That's my story. Because a blitz should only take a minute or less. Because you want to go blitz again, and you want to go blitz again. And then for those of you who are thinking thoughts like, what if they think that I think they need it? Well, you probably do. Right? It's okay too. And what if you think that they think that you think that you think that they think that you think that they need, that you might need? Say that back to each other. Don't you sometimes think that? Wow, what are they going to think? You know what? They're not thinking about you, really. It goes back to us being so concerned about ourselves. And if they say to you, do you think I need it? Absolutely not, but everybody wants it. Absolutely not, but everybody wants it. Everybody I know wants it. Everybody I know that I ever talked to, even in the beginning, some people in my friendship circle and family are still not on board. Still, even when they come swim in my pool. But it's so sweet to have them swimming in that pool. I can't wait to swim in your pool. Now I have 2 pools, so maybe that'll work. So they came in after my daughter came in and recruited their kids. So that might be what it takes, but you know, I'm patient. Because everyone comes to us in their time. So if It might work, but it doesn't duplicate. Are you carrying around a lot of papers? Oh, I need salon papers. I need fitness center papers. No, you don't. You need a Blitz card and a wrap.
Yep.
Aren't they human beings?
Yep.
Yes, I remember when I first realized that a policeman was actually a person and not a robot, and they had kids. Remember that thought when you were little? Well, that's what you're thinking when you go into each of these facilities, that you need different paperwork for everybody. No, you don't. You don't know their place of business. You don't know how they conduct business. You know how you conduct business, right? You conduct business by wrapping people. And so I want to leave you with this. And then we're going to take this duplication to another level. We're going to find out how everyone that stood up here on stage earlier makes a little over $500,000 a year. Are you interested in that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. But first of all, don't we need to go from distributor to executive?
Right. Yeah.
They all started that way. And another thing that I want you to do is don't look at others and become envious or jealous of them. Look at others to be inspired by them.
That's right.
To be inspired. And if you are envious or jealous, work on that. Work on that. That's something you need to work on. And if you're saying things like nobody wants to be a customer or nobody wants to be a distributor, look around the room. Look at our numbers. Is that true? All that is fear that's keeping you from doing the wrapping. It's just holding you back. We all have to work through it. I remember being afraid. I remember throwing up when 12 people said they would actually come to my house. And my sponsor in my first business, before I discovered this product, he said he would come help, and he didn't. And I said, I'm just shutting the lights off and not opening the door. And then when we found this product, I had a party at my house, and I invited 100 people, and one came and brought 3 guests. But guess what? I had another one the next week, and the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that. They just got tired of me calling them, so they started coming. Here you have one party and you give up. They gotta know you're serious, because let's face it, the week before, the day before you found this, you might have been driving a truck. Or you might have been a nurse or a teacher. You could be a doctor or a lawyer, a mom of 1 or 2 or 8. They didn't know you as a wrap person, so you got to prove it to them, don't you? And you prove it to them by you continue to have parties, you continue to talk to them, you continue to let them see, how about you evolve? How about you take products? How about you start looking different? How about that? Instead of aging, we're going backwards. Who wants to go backwards? Yes. Okay, so just because it works doesn't mean it duplicates. Here's how your business is going to unfold. If you will get that one statement, see right now, a lot of our top line earners are in front of the room. They didn't start this way. They started at the back. And then they started building a team, and they started getting more and more confident. And then they started working their way up front. And the next thing you know, they're on stage. You start to see them at Limelight, on stage. You start to see Mark and I off stage more and more. Why? We want to duplicate. We want to duplicate. We want to duplicate. We want our leadership up here. So here's how you want to start holding your meetings. Start respecting each other, honoring each other. You, initially, like Ashley, will be on stage. It could be a small stage. It could be a room of 3 people in the beginning. It could be a room of 10 or 12. And as that distributor that starts really showing interest, confidence, excitement, starts to promote to executive, to Ruby, you start to bring them up. They start to come up they start to do part of your meetings, part of your trainings. They start to really grow. You start to really inspire them. And then they start to bring their team up, their executives, their rubies. And they start to really grow. And so your goal is to eventually kind of walk off the stage to the left and watch in admiration as your team really starts to escalate and build. And then you work your way to the side. You're even more proud. There's even more people up there. Your teams are really, really growing. You're really duplicating. You're keeping it simple. You're blitzing with almost 3 words. Oh my gosh. I've got it down to 3 words. I'm doing the party pad. I've got the notes memorized, but I'm still reading them. I'm building rubies. The next thing you know, you're out the door. They're all up here. You're in the car, headed to the beach. Who wants that? That shows a lot of growth in someone. That's a laying out the ego. And look, Mark and I love stage. And so do you. Every single one of you, even though you would tell me you were scared to death, you would do anything to be up here, wouldn't you? Who would do anything to be up here? Well, you're doing it. You're in this room. You're doing it. Then you want to keep it so simple. It seems too simple. And I loved it when Ashley said, no one has still beaten a record of going to Ambassador Diamond in 7 months. Ashley Sinclair, let's give it up for her. Do not compare yourselves to her, be inspired by her. She said, I could have gotten there faster had I listened. Think about that. Now you have to see yourself there first. That's following 3 simple steps. I would love our presidential diamonds to come up and join me on stage. Our presidential diamonds.